Hey, good morning, everybody. So we have a very special class today. I'll let everybody know that I was up till probably almost midnight last night getting ready for today's class. So if it doesn't go well, it's because I was also drinking when I did it. So there might have been a little bit of wine involved. So Larry Kendall did the 2025 breakout session for business planning for 2025. 3 hours. 3 hours. I spent last night trying to condense that down to about an hour of all the material that he went through, and I think I did a pretty good job of it. A lot of the things that we're going to skim over today are going to be things that you've heard me talk about 1,000 times. Your 10-step buyer, 16-step seller, your Ninja 9, flow, and all of those things. And we're going to go over those, but the main thing we're going to go over today is going to be your business planning for the year. How many people had the time and took the opportunity to fill out the pre-planning package that we sent out? Hey, how are you? Good, I'm so glad you're here. No, you're perfectly fine. Kenny, nice to meet you. Hey, thank you for my card. That was really nice. So if you had an opportunity to fill out that pre-planning package, that's going to be instrumental in what we're doing today and what we're going to go over. So if you need a copy of that, we can get it for you real quick. But it'll still be very, very worthwhile if you don't have that. Not a big deal. A couple of things tomorrow night, before we get started into that. Tomorrow night we have our Christmas party. I'm super excited about that. It's at Greenbrier Country Club. Raise your hand if you're going. Love to hear that. We'll get you guys invited. If you guys want to come to our Christmas party tonight, we'd love to have you there. It would be great. So, menu for tomorrow night. We have a new executive chef at Greenbrier Country Club, and tomorrow night's going to be filet mignon, roasted chicken, homemade pies, desserts. It's going to be a really good time. So, cocktail hour, 6 to 7. 7 o'clock, you're going to have to listen to me drone on and speak for a few minutes. We'll do our award ceremony like we do every year. And then, as soon as that's over with, we're going to have dinner, fellowship, have a good time, and continue on with our holiday season. So 2024 has been, I think, a great year. We're all alive. We're not dead. We're not all underground. We're above ground, so that's super, super important. And I think 2025 is going to be even better. 2025 is going to be an amazing year. The market is really looking up, especially for people who do business with people they know and really deepen those relationships. So we're going to really help you guys with that in the coming year. We're going to do more client-centric parties for you guys to be able to invite your clients in and build those deeper relationships. And we're going to have some accountability coaching if you want to take advantage of that. Really, guys, keep you accountable for what it is that you're trying to accomplish. Not what somebody else wants you to accomplish, but what it is you're trying to accomplish. Everybody's goals are different, and everybody's picture of success is different. So I don't care if success means 2 deals a year to you, that's great. If it means 30 or 40 deals a year, that's awesome too. We're going to celebrate those both the same because it's what success means to you. Carrie Williams is not here today. She's got a closing in North Carolina, so we will miss our mortgage minute. Karen Darden is not here because Karen Darden has kidney stones, and she is it's her first one, so we'll see what we name it when it's done. So it'll be her first kidney stone child. I've had about 7 of them, and they're no fun. So we really feel bad for Karen right now. Hopefully she's good to go for tomorrow, though. How's she doing, Christy?
She's doing okay. I think she thought that she had gotten rid of it the other night, and then all of a sudden the pain came back again. So she's like, I guess I still have it.
Yeah, it's probably because she missed a dose of meds.
Yeah,
Some of those pain meds.
maybe. So,
Right.
hopefully she's feeling better.
All right. So we're going to kind of forego all of that. Normally, our format runs like this. We do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we have Craig come up and talk about contracts or CRM and give you a little help with that. And then we get it right into some ninja-style lead generation and things you can do to kind of help do your life or mastermind. But today, since we have a lot to cover, we're going to jump right into the business planning. Did you guys get a copy of the 2025 business plan? Robin, can you print me 2 copies of that real quick so that I want them to have a copy of that before we get started? So business planning is probably one of the most overlooked aspects that real estate agents do. Real estate agents don't plan very well, right? We go, okay, I'm going to set some goals in this month, and I'm going to try to get some more buyers. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to do that. They don't really sit down and put it into a business planning format and set goals and really set out what they're going to do for the upcoming year. And I asked a question during the book club. I said, how many people did their business planning? And a lot of people raised their hand. I said, okay, how much time did you spend on that? And I heard, an hour, did it over lunch, and, I worked on it over the weekend. Business planning is, number one, can be a very drawn out process, and it's ever changing and updating, so you're really never really done, right? Because the goalpost is going to move on you and you need to be able to adjust. The market's going to change. So what we plan for right now going into 2025 may not be what we wind up having to adjust to because the market might change. Now, what I want to try to do is give you some things to do. We're going to really focus on the Ninja 9 right over here on the wall. If we focus on that right there, those 9 habits, the market really won't matter as much as it will to some other people. When people don't have personal relationships and they're getting those referrals from those really close things, and you're constantly trying to get internet leads, I'm not saying internet leads are bad, but you're constantly getting internet leads, and those leads have to be cultivated, nurtured. You have to figure out, and every time you make that phone call or every time a phone call comes in, you have to start building trust with that person and build rapport. So there's this whole extra layer that you really have to work through before they really start working for you, because we all know what? Nobody wants to work with you until they know, like, and trust you, right? So we got to get them to know us, to like us, and trust us before they'll work with us. And that's with anybody. And that's even including our own sphere of influence, and it also includes any of the internet leads or anywhere else that you get leads, farming or anything else, right? So what we're going to go through today, and I'm going to give it just a few minutes. Did that get printed?
It's printing.
What's that?
It's printing.
It's printing now? Which printer is it printing on?
The other one.
All right, I'm going to go grab that real quick for you guys. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know anybody.
All right, we can fix that.
It's just wrong.
It's about 15 cents a cup.
Fix that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome. All right, let's just go around the room real quick and have everybody introduce themselves. Oh, we got so many people on board. I love it. Let's start with online, and we'll start with Mel. Mel, just introduce yourself because we do have some guests here today. And she was online. I said her name and she disappeared.
She's still here.
No, she's on the left. You got the arrow now, so she's selected.
Good, Mel. Say hi to everybody. Introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, good morning. I'm Melissa.
Hold on.
I recently moved to. Sorry, I'm gonna move the keyboard off the table. Away Real Estate, October 1st. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes. I retired in July of 2023. U.S. Navy, 24 years. I live out here in Chesapeake. I got my real estate license almost 2 years ago, and I'm still doing the prep work, I guess you could say, but I'm hoping to move my business along this year or this coming year. I'm hoping to see great things happen. So
I think it's going to be great. Thank you so much, Mel. Rachel.
thank you.
Rachel, you there? There we are.
Oh, sorry. Hi, I'm Rachel. I've with Away Real Estate. I've been in real estate for almost 5 years now. Hoping to make that 5th year my biggest and most productive yet. So I'm really excited.
I think you're going to do great things. Ashley Ertz.
Hi, I'm actually kind of on the lending side now, so I do a lot of marketing for Carrie Williams. I'm still an active agent, but I kind of just work with Cam on my listings or any buyers I have.
Ashley is with Revolution Mortgage. Carrie Williams, who was our in-house lender, so that's who she kind of does a lot of marketing stuff for. And she's a really great resource for your listings, and they have a lot of dynamic advertising and stuff that they can put together for you. We've given several classes on that. So, Jamie Blackman, Black Mom, as Siri says.
Hi. Hi, I'm Jamie. I've been in real estate for about 3 years. I've been with Away for, I want to say, maybe a little over a year now. And yeah, I love Away. That's basically all I got.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate you. Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I have been in real estate since May of last year, and I just recently rejoined Away again, March, I believe it was.
Yes, ma'am.
And I couldn't be happier.
I'm so glad you're here. Ricky.
Hey, how you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Rick Yellaby, been here about 7 months with the Way Real Estate, newbie, and hope this year to be a good year for me.
Glad you're here, buddy. All right, Kendra.
Hey guys, I'm Kendra.
Kendra's our local goat herder.
Let's see, I've been in real estate about 2.5 years, 2 years with Away, and I live out in Suffolk.
Well, we're so glad you're here, Kendra.
With my goats.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kim.
Craig.
Craig Jones, managing broker, herding the cats with the real estate. I've been with Kenny since 2016, and shoot, how long have we been here at the company? Been
Long time.
5 years here at the company. So
Been here for a minute. Rob.
I grew up in Northern Virginia. I've been with Away for a year now. Navy vet, now a Navy spouse, and unfortunately, I'll be leaving to Hawaii in a few months.
I mean, really, is that unfortunate that you're going to Hawaii? I mean,
It's bittersweet, right?
Fair. Craig.
Hi, Craig Lundgren, Away Real Estate. This is my third brokerage in my career, and I've been digging into Kenny's podcast. Real Estate Happens. One of the earlier episodes, you talked about the 3 types of brokerage, and you described me and a lot of agents where you go from a full-service brokerage to a hybrid, and then I finally landed here. It's more agent-centric and very ninja selling-centric, and that's how Kenny and I and Craig met a few months back.
In Fort Collins, Colorado, actually. Thank you for being here, Craig. Barbara.
Good morning, I'm Barbara Murphy. I've been an agent since '89. I took a break for a while to help a sick relative since COVID. And now that that's over and we have a new president, I'm back, and I think it's going to be a great year for real estate.
Thank you so much for being here. Kyle.
I'm Kyle, so I've been in real estate for 4 years now. I just swapped, came back over here from Iron Valley to focus more on the property management side, so I'm the new property manager here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
I'm Christy. I've been in real estate for about 22 years. I started out at Remax and then went to Wainwright. Got very bored there and talked to Kenny a couple of times at some parties, like whatever they are.
Drinking events. She came by and saw I had a wet bar in my office. She says, "Hey."
what are the odds Kenny and Chris would meet at a social event?
I know.
So yeah, and it's I love it here. So
Thank you.
Maybe a year and a half.
Yep, about that. Yep, you and Karen both. So came over at the same time. Karen's not here with us today. So, James.
James Abruzzo, Armor Insurance. Insurance agent since '93. Independent because I love helping people, and I'll stay with here. When it comes to referrals and all that, I'm doing this so long, I'm not even looking for a referral. I'm looking to help your people. And that's why me and Kenny get along so well. So
James is about solving problems, not selling products, and it's kind of nice. And you can call him on a weekend, and you can call him in the evening, and if you've got a flood quote that needs to be done or something that needs to happen, he needs to help you, he'll jump right on it. So which will be really great. Thanks, James, for having you here. So, Jack.
Jack Wilson. I first got my license in '79 and went with several different companies. I was with the old William E. Wood for about 15 years, so I don't like to move around. But then I retired in 2017 and came back, and I've been with a couple of companies since then, trying to find a good home. And I got to say that I've probably come across every program out there. I'm sure, probably not everyone, but a lot of different programs. You know, the last company I was with had this thing called the locker room, and it was okay, but I just never caught on to any of them that I could follow through with. You know, you would work on it for about a week, and then you'd fall off. And then when I came and talked to Kenny and got introduced to this Ninja selling, that's what brought me over here. It wasn't Kenny or anything. For the first time, I felt like Ninja selling would be the thing that would strap me to the goalpost and make me carry it from start to finish. So, you know, that's why I'm here, and I'm glad to be here, and, you know, I'm ready to dive into this.
Well, thanks for those kind words, I think.
Is that a away golf shirt?
It is.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Way to go, Craig. You knew that was an issue. There's none in there.
There's none in there. No, I was just wondering.
Jack's been on me about an away polo golf shirt for a while. Apparently Rob too. All right, we're gonna have to make that happen.
My name's Michelle Stanek. I'm with Matt Littlefield. We're on a team together. We're currently with Fit Realty. I've been there for about 2 years, with a small break. And we're just happy to be here, and thank you for inviting us.
Oh, so glad you're here.
Yeah.
So glad you're here.
So the Ninja thing definitely is one of the things that really interest us. So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Matt?
Yeah, again, Matt Littlefield. The Navy brought me here, I guess, about 25 years ago.
Same here.
Worked on Tomcats. I've got a business degree, specialization in marketing. I just got licensed in January.
Love that.
I don't like leaving places either. You know, I stay somewhere for like between 5 and 8 years, and I just move on somewhere else. But yeah, I was at Fit for a year. She left Fit, came back to him, and we're thinking about making some changes for 2025.
Awesome. Well, great class today for that. So thank everybody for being here. So
Sydney online too.
Robin, I'm so sorry. Robin is in our Director of Operations department. Let me tell a quick story real quick. About 6-7 months ago, I have a business coach, and I think everybody should have a coach or a mentor or an accountability partner, somebody, something, somewhere to kind of keep you straight, because sometimes it's hard to see the forest because there's so many trees. So I had a call with my business coach, and he says to me, he's been coaching me for a while, and he says to me, Kenny, he says, you own a business. And it pissed me off. I'm like, well, my business for 17 years. I've been a realtor for 20 years. I've been owning my business for 17 years. You know this. It was in my intake form. We've talked about this many occasions. And he just kind of listened to me rant and rave and almost cuss him out for a minute. And then he goes, if you die tomorrow, what happens to your business? And I'm like, well, it probably goes away. He goes, well, then you don't have a business. You're self-employed. And I went, damn. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And so I realized I was just holding on to things way too tightly and felt like I had to do everything myself. So to that end, I hired Craig Jones as my managing broker and principal broker with 3 companies here. Abby Watkins, who's not here, my director of operations. We got so busy and that went so well. Robin now works in the operations department. That's Janet Jones. She's our director of property management, works over there. And so I put all of these things together. And what that's allowed me to do, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I actually have time on my hands. I actually have a life now. Right? Because all of those things I was doing. And actually they're doing it better than I was, right? So it's been really, really nice. But that's allowed me to do what I really want to do, which is coaching and mentor the agents in the office, because you guys are my clients. You guys have buyers and sellers, and that's your clients, but you guys are my clients. And so that's been very, very special for me. All right.
Sydney's online too.
Sydney! I didn't even see you up there, Sydney. Come on in. She was so happy until you pointed that out, Craig.
She's not getting off the hook.
Sydney, that was Craig's fault, not mine. But let's hear from you. She has decided she is not going to do that, Craig. That's okay. Sydney, we love Sydney. Sydney is awesome. Sydney is doing really, really well in real estate. But she is very much an introvert and doesn't like to be called out onto the big stage. So we try to call her out every once in a while just to do that. You ever heard of aversion therapy? Right, so we do a little bit of aversion therapy with Sydney. All right, let's get into this 2025 business planning. Like I said before, planning what you're going to do next year is so important because without a plan, you plan to what? Fail. Exactly right. So she's going to pull this up real quick, and then we're going to start going through this. We'll start off on the very beginning of this thing. All right, so the goal of this, and let me explain real quick that Larry Kendall did this course, and this is Larry Kendall's course, not stealing anything from him, but his course is 3 hours long. And I sat through that 3-hour course, and then I tried my best to condense it last night to 45 minutes to an hour. So we're not going to go over absolutely everything that Larry went over in the webinar, but I'm going to try to cover as much of it as I can so that you guys can really get the gist of really how we need to be planning this out. All right, so what's the goal here? The goal is to help.
Is this not what you want?
I'm not moving.
Oh.
There we go. The goal is to help you build a smart business that is sustainable, evergreen, and with a high net income per hour. That's the goal of what we're doing here, right? So sustainable in any market, evergreen in any market. Sustainable means anything that we can do for a long period of time without burnout, right? Because that is a major problem within the real estate industry is we get people that are, man, they're doing 100 miles an hour, but they're in second gear. And we need to learn how to shift gears so we take a little bit of them RPMs down, right? And then a high net income per hour. Because we have so many people in life right now that think the number of hours we work is directly proportionate to the amount of money that we make. And that's not true, right? Not in real estate. Real estate, you get paid for your experience, you get paid for your knowledge and being able to get things done for your clients. That's what you get paid for, right? And that's not an hours for dollars equation, just not. So we want to increase your hour per income so that you can have a life, right? So if you can increase your income per hour, that means you can work less hours. That means you can make as much money as if you were working 80 hours a week, but maybe only work 40, then your life becomes a better life. Now it avoids burnout, right? That's our other goal for today. We want to help you guys avoid burnout. We want to give you some tools. If you raise your hand if sitting on the phone 5 hours a day making cold calls for the rest of your life sounds like fun, right? How about going out and talking to people you know and having lunch with people you know, and could you do that for the rest of your life? You could. So we're going to try to help you with that burnout. And then we're going to try to help you navigate some of the changes that have gone on, like with the NAR real estate, the NAR lawsuit and things of that nature. We really want to help you navigate that minefield so that you function well in it. And I'm going to tell you right now, everybody here has heard me say this a thousand times, I think the new laws and rules of NAR are amazing. They're absolutely the best thing that could have happened to our industry. And I'll explain to you why a little bit later in this thing. So. All right, so business planning, template, and pre-planning items, right? So 5-step ninja planning process. Number 1, learn what I did from last year. So that was that pre-planning package. It went through and it kind of showed you and made you really dig into your numbers of what you had to figure out what you did last year, right? 2, set your goals. What are your goals for this upcoming year? So we got to know what we did so we can set better goals for next year. And then activities and my schedule. What are the activities and when will I do them? So you need to identify not only what your goals are, but what activities will get you there, right? And what and when you're going to do them, right? So time blocking. We had a great conversation. I tell this story all the time now. Rachel McLean was one of my absolutely individuals who was adamant about not time blocking. She says, I don't know, just time blocking and keeping up with that schedule is just too difficult. And I said to her one day, I said, well, do it this way. I said, do you have a to-do list? She goes, yeah, I have a to-do list. I said, okay, just write a time as to right next to each one of them when you want to do it. She went, okay, that's easy. I'm not going to give us time blocking, right? So your to-do list with the time of when you're going to do it is time blocking. So I think that really helped Rachel. Action. How will I track my progress, right? Because we don't know where we are unless we're doing some type of tracking to make sure we're on track to achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves. And then number 5, which I think is probably the most important. Celebrate. What will I do when I reach my goals? And so many times we set goals, but we don't set a reward for that goal, right? So we're like, okay, the reward is the goal. No. The reaching that goal is the work, and there needs to be a reward for that. We're going to talk about how to make that celebration so that it means more to you. All right, so step 1, where are you now, right? So how many people filled out the pre-planning package? Okay, it's going to make it really hard if you guys didn't do the homework, okay? The Life Will page. Everybody see the Life Will page? The what page? Life Will. The Wheel of Life? The Wheel of Life. Yeah, that's in it. Can I have yours? This was in that. You don't have that in yours. Did you print it up a pre-listing package, right? No, it's okay. Rob, can you see if the rest of that printed up there? This is that Wheel of Life. Okay, and really what this does is it talks about health, finance, family, love, spirituality, fun, and friends. And inside that pie, you need to write down exactly where you are, or where you think you are in each one of those areas. So if you think your health needs improvement, maybe you're a 5. Finance, you want to improve your finance, maybe you're a 4. Maybe your career is at an 8. You just put down where you are right now in this pie chart, right? Let me get this back to we'll get you one. And what that's going to do is help you identify the areas in your life that you want to improve, right? So, and it just really gets you thinking about where that is, right? And what do you want more of? Do you want more in your family? Do you want more fun in your life? What is it that you want more out of life? So, taking a few minutes to fill out that chart, to really figure out what it is or where you currently are. This isn't what you want. This is where you currently are, what you feel about what you've had for this last year. Because step 1 is where were we, what are we doing, and what do we have to do to bring that forward. So, thank you. I think there's a couple copies here. Does anybody need one? We have some if you need them. So that Wheel of Life is going to be really, really important in determining where you are so we figure out what it is we need and what we need to move forward with. All right. But you have to start with your why. In your pre-listing package, there was a thing called your list of whys, or a bucket list, okay? These are the things that make us get up and do the things we want to do. And I asked somebody, I said, well, why do you do real estate? Oh, to make a lot of money. Oh, to serve clients. Oh, that's not why we do real estate. We do real estate because money and the things that it brings to us allows us to accomplish our whys in life, right? Your why might be you want to climb Mount Everest, but it takes a time, energy, effort, and money in order to go climb Mount Everest, right? Your big why may be that you want to have things or be able to have the money to send your children to a better school or to a private school or college, whatever that may be. You see, we all want to do real estate and we need to do that because that's what we do for a living and we enjoy it and we love it and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is why we're doing it is the real issue here. The best way I can describe this. If you got up tomorrow and you're having a bad day, how many people get up and occasionally have bad days? Right? Every hand in here should go up. They don't like raising their hands when I talk. When you're having a bad day and you're just like, I don't feel like calling these people, I don't feel like writing my notes, and I don't feel like doing my daily 9. That's the day you pull out your list of why. You pull out that bucket list and you go, okay, why am I doing this? Because I want a better life for my family, because I want to be able to afford the things I want to do, because I want to have wake-up money, because I want to be able to get up at someday I want to be able to get up and go, I don't have to work today because no matter what I do, my income is there, and we teach that passive income. This is the rocket fuel that keeps you motivated on a daily basis. we all talk about listings and we talk about why is someone selling their house, right? And we want to go into that appointment and go, okay, well, why are you selling your house? We need to know that motivation of to why they're doing what they're doing. It's no different for you. You have to have a strong why. If you don't have a strong why, you just don't have that motivation, those things that really keep you kind of going. All right, so success, living the dream, financial peace of mind, to thrive. These are just some of the reasons these whys are, right? My life will priorities are. This is something for you. I'm going to give you just a minute, and I'm going to give you about 2 minutes here, and I want you to go through this, and then where it says my life will priorities are, or I want more of, I want you to really just take a minute and write down what that is to you. Just take a minute, fill out your life will, look at it. That life will is where you think you are right now. And then when you get to this next page where it says your why can be progressive, I want you to write down my life will priorities are. Whatever they are to you. And then I want more of, and then my reason for selling real estate is. I need to know what you need to know what your why is. And you may not be able to come up with that. That's a big question. That's a huge question to ask somebody. Why are you doing something? To make more money? Yeah, okay, that's an outcome, but what do you need that money for? Right? Why do you need that money? What is your why? So just take a minute. We'll kind of give you a few minutes to go through that. Rob looks so stately with those glasses staring down at that paper, doesn't he? Getting old is not for the weak. Getting old is hard. Think about it this way. If you have a big old bullseye, that outer ring, that's what we do, right? And then the next ring in, that's how we do it. But the bullseye, this is where the magic happens, is why we do it. What we do, how we do it, why we do it. That's what you want to focus on, right? Because that's what's going to keep your motivation going. All right. That is for you. That's not for any of you to discuss in class. That's really for you. All right. Where am I at in my real estate career? All right, so I need you to circle one. I need you to look at this really close and figure out where you're at. You might be on an on-ramp, just got on the road, you're kind of white-knuckling it, figuring out what's happening, you're just trying to get your feet under you. You couldn't need to shift gears, you're going down the road at 80 miles an hour, you're closing 4 or 5 deals a month, but man, you're just on that road to burnout, so you need to figure out how to shift gears. And you heard me talk about that earlier, so we can increase your income per hour. And I'll give you an example of increasing your income per hour. Let's say you've just got a lot of business and you're really out there killing it, right? But you're working 70, 80 hours a week. How about we bring on a buyer's agent, right? That takes some of that load off of us, but we still make that money, right? So working 80 hours a week, we're making $100 an hour, just for example, right? Well, what if we work 50 hours a week and we still made $100 an hour? Right? You see, that increases your income per hour because you're not working as many hours, but you're making the money. So you got to think about it that way. And when we talk about pie time later, we'll talk about some of the things that you can hire out to help you increase your productivity time. All right. Or are you on cruise control? You kind of got it all dialed in, figured out. You're right where you need to be, right? This is where you are in your career. Or you might be winding down in your career. You might be like, okay, well, I need to be winding down, kind of get where you think you are, because it's going to be helpful in kind of dialing in where you're wanting to go and where you want to take things. All right, in your other book, in your pre-listing package, you did your DNA, right, of your business. And your DNA of your business is your highest grossing transactions came from where? Let me give you an example of tracking your DNA. Bob referred Jim to me, so I can track that back to Bob. But where did I meet Bob? Oh, I met Bob at an open house. So the the activity, right, that got me the business all the way down to the referral was not this guy that's now my friend. It goes all the way back to an open house. So if I'm looking at that and I start looking at all of the people and where my referrals came from, and I start to look at a pattern, and I'm going 2 and 3 deep and looking at this pattern, I'm starting to realize that a lot of my business started DNA, chaining, or tree, however you want to look at it, started or came from an open house, then maybe I need to make sure open houses are incorporated more into my business plan. I'm not saying that open house is the answer. I'm saying if you track your business and where it's coming from back to that, then that's what you need to be looking at. And so you need to be looking at, where did my highest grossing transactions come from? So you take your top transactions and you sit down and you go, okay, Bob, how did I get Bob? Okay, and where did he come from? And where did he come from? Was it a Zillow lead? Was it this lead? Was it that lead? This is going to help you identify what your strengths are in being able to convert people and helping them. When I look at my most recent, when I look at where most of my sales came from, I see these patterns, okay? And that's what we were just talking about. Did you track it back to online? Did you track it back to a referral? Where is your business coming from? You need to identify where your business is coming from so that you can go there and get more of it, right? Really what we're looking at. Key action items that I did that triggered these sales. Again, this is all stuff that you need to be answering for yourself, because it's going to really help you identify where my business came from and where I need to focus in 2025. If you're new and you're a rookie and you don't have last year to look at, you need to sit down and talk to a top producing agent, somebody that has a history behind them, and ask them, hey, what's your genealogy? What's your DNA of your business look like? And sit down and ask them these questions. Hey, where did your highest grossing transactions come from? Because without a history, you don't really know, but you need somewhere to start. So if you're a rookie, that's a great place to have that. And then look at what your key takeaways are, right? When I did my open houses, how did I do them? Which one, I use open houses because it's an easy example. When I did an open house where I advertised a week before, and then I did I did a neighborhood party on that Friday night, and then I did a broker's open on Thursday, and then I did 2 open houses consecutively on that first weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I had the most people show up, and I had the most people that I put in my database from that, right? When I had an open house where I just put it in the MLS and showed up about 30 minutes before, and I didn't door knock the neighborhood prior to, I had less effect. So that tells us the key activities to do an open house are going to be doing all the other things that make an open house successful. And we don't do all those other things. Sometimes we just go and go, okay, I'm going to do an open house. You show up, you put a couple signs out that day, and then you show up and you may get somebody come in, you may not. Open houses can be very, very effective if done correctly, right? So you need to identify what those key takeaways are. Then you have that pre-flight checklist. Complete and identify the gaps that you're going to work on. There, in your pre-listing package, there's a pre-flight checklist, and here's just a couple of questions on here. I'm just going to go over. Your skill set. I have a buyer's and seller's package ready and available on a scale of 1 to 10. Do you guys have that? Raise your hand. Beautiful. I have a relocation package readily available. I have a buyer's interview sheet readily available. I have a pre-listing interview sheet readily available. I have a written marketing plan for my listings. We have all this stuff here. It's available to you. We have a 16-step buyer package, a 10-step seller package, 16-step, got that backwards, 10-step buyer, 16-step seller, pre-listing packages, listing packages, and all of these things you need to have. All of that pre-flight checklist, God, I get so passionate about this because so many agents are just really good agents. I'm so passionate about this, I wrote a book about it called Accidental Real Estate. It's coming out in January. So many agents get in the business and they just talk to everybody and they have no plan, and because they're talking to people, then they get a deal, and that works because they talk to somebody, and your general consumer doesn't understand whether you're ready to service them at a deep level or not. Most agents are not ready to service somebody at a deep level. They're like, okay, well, let's go look at houses. Great. And then they get done showing the house, like, okay, let's write a contract. Okay. And then they write the contract. And then they call a couple people and they get a couple of things done here and there. It's haphazard. A real professional, when they have a lead, they have a pre-listing package, that goes out to them, and then they have a listing package that happens, and they have a interview, and they do consultations, and all of this stuff is, they actually have a plan to deal with and access every aspect of it. So if you guys get nothing else out of this today, every aspect of everything that we do, buyers, sellers, new leads, all this other stuff, follow up, you need to have a plan of action. You need to have the marketing material that goes with it. Marketing material has to be a combination of what? Two things. It has to be a combination of art and science. It has to provide value, and it has to look good, right? Why do people refer other people? Anybody want to gander why somebody refers? Rob, why do you think somebody would refer you to their friends and family?
Because they trust you.
Because they trust you, or deeper than that, right? What's that?
Because it makes them look good.
Because it makes them look good. It's not really even about you, right? And I give this example all the time. If you go to a listing appointment with your best friend, you show up in your sweatpants and you're sweaty, you just came from the gym, they're going to give you the listing because you're their friend and they know you and they know what you'll do a good job for them. However, they're probably not going to refer you, right? Because they're subconsciously going to think that that's how you're going to show up to every listing appointment. So I don't care if it's your best friend or your mom. Show up dressed for the occasion with appropriate marketing material, the way it should be done, art and science. Treat them as you would anybody else. Show them that you are that professional, and then those referrals will come. And I think that's where a lot of people make a mistake. So when you get a chance, go through this pre-flight checklist. Identify the gaps in your business, because everybody runs their own business. This pre-flight checklist will give you all the resources, or at least tell you all the resources you need in order to run a successful business. So that's going to be one of the major things. As you guys can see, this is not a 1 hour planning program that I'm going to come in here and go like, hey guys, if you do this, this, and this, and here's your goals, and everybody meet your goals, yay! No, you have to set your own goals. I'm just pointing you in the direction that, and telling you like one of your goals should be this. If I don't have all of this, I need to have all of this. And I need to have it in a format where I can print it out, put it out, and in a very sustainable way so that I have it in digital, print, and any other way I might need this to be able to get it out and get this information to somebody to show them my value and to help solve problems with them. Because as ninjas, we don't sell, we what? Solve, right? We listen for pain and pleasure points in people's lives, problems they may be having, and if there's a solution in there that we can provide to them and help them, that's great, but we're not tied to that outcome. So that's really, really important. Your business analysis, right? Your business analysis is where your database is. How many people have a database? How many people work in that database and keep it up to date, right? What's your production? What is your market data, right? You start looking at market data and you look at the market that you're in. Okay, and this is something that you need to do on your own. You get out there and get some research done. Me and Craig is a great market research data guy. He can help you with this. Look at where you're trying to do business and figure out if you need to expand your market area, right? A lot of our urban areas, Virginia Beach, Chesapeake, Norfolk, are going through what's I call a mild gentrification right now, right? And what's happening is that people can't afford to live in Virginia Beach. People can't afford to live in Chesapeake and Norfolk, right? If they can't afford to live in those areas, then they're going to do what? They're going to walk out to Suffolk, Isle of Wight, Carrollton. I heard Larry Kendall say something today that I thought it was pretty good. Drive until you qualify, right? Drive till you qualify, right? So if you're not qualified for anything in Virginia Beach, start driving, and you got to drive out the rural area. So drive till you qualify, right? So you really need to look at your market data and your market areas and what's happening. Discretionary investments. Guys, how many people are invested in real estate? How many people go, well, I can't afford to invest in real estate because everything's too expensive here? Okay, well, go look at other markets. Go look at Richmond. Go look at Carrollton. Go look at South Carolina. Nobody says you can't buy a house in another state, right? So we got to talk about those discretionary investments, because that's going to be where the end goal of where I want to see all you guys go. I want to see all you guys have wake-up money. I want to see you be able to wake up, whether you get up out of bed or whether you go to work or not, you have a certain amount of income coming in no matter what. And so that's the difference. We talk about rich dad, poor dad, right? We talk about most people, an asset, we're going to talk about this a little bit later, an asset is something that brings you money. A liability is something that takes money away from you, right? So rich people buy assets. Poor people buy liabilities they think are assets, right? What's a car?
Liability.
What's the house you live in?
Liability.
It's a liability, right? A house that you bought and you rented and you got rented out and somebody's making payments on it is a, we got to look at things that way. Next page. All right, market drivers. Understanding your local market, right? This is key because we can't really do any of this planning unless you understand your local market. So market size, what are the trends, right? Feeder markets. Anybody know what a feeder market is? Feeder market for our area would be San Diego, right? What markets are feeding people into this area? If Dollar Tree is a good example of this, right? Dollar Tree, when they were moving into the area, they moved all of their execs here in one thing or another. We needed to find out where all of those execs were because those are feeder markets, right? Who is feeding people into our market? And if we know, we got a big Amazon thing coming in here, right? So do we know how many execs are coming in from that? Do some research, find out kind of where that's going to come from because you're not just going to hire all brand new people, right? You're going to have a leadership team. You're going to have people that move here that understand how that Amazon warehouse works. Find out where they're coming from. Maybe start doing some advertising in that area to kind of get. So know your feeder markets. That's super important, right? So figure out who the feeder markets are. Drivers, average price, commission, number of listings. Number of listings in your local market is going to be a direct reflection of how much market share can you get, right? And if you find the competition too stiff, then we do what's called a blue water. Blue water marketing, right? We go out in blue water where nobody else is and we start there, right? So Carrollton, Smithfield, Isle of Wight, those are all areas that I think are super up and coming areas. What can I change? With focus, right? Because we can do anything if we focus on it, we try to make those changes. Again, guys, I'm just going over questions you need to be asking yourself in order to be able to get some of this stuff done. Do I need to expand my market, right? Is your market, are you in a market that, and like we talked about, that's going through that gentrification? Do you need to get out a little bit farther? And use the business planning spreadsheet to adjust drivers. I have a business planning spreadsheet that I will send out to everybody, and you can start using that, okay? Evolution, let's talk about this real quick. Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they're finished. The person you are right now is as transient, as fleeting, and as temporary as all the people you've ever been. The one constant in our life is change. So if we think we can do the same things last year that we did and coming up this next year and get different results, we can't. Just know that everything changes, the market changes, we need to change and adapt with it, okay? That's all step one. It's just figuring out, all of that's just figuring out where were we last year, right? What are all the things that we have last year? What's all of our market data? Now we have all this information. We have all this information of all the things that we can do and all the things that we can be. So step two is waving that magic wand and talking about where do we want to be, right? So visioning, what your whys are, your life passions, reasons for living. What are your financial goals? What are your wealth goals, right? Financial and wealth goals are two different things, right? Business goals, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? This is where we start asking those questions. So you wave that magic wand. It says, if I could wave a magic wand and have this next year be just the way I want it, what would it be like? Think about that for a second. What if I told you next year will be whatever you want? What would that be? Right? What would that be? Go to the next page. So identify your goals. Prioritization, what personal goals are most important right now, and my top business development goals for this year are. Wave your magic wand right now on your paper. Go and fill out these two things. What are your personal goals and what's most important to you right now? Look, you may have 100. I just want to know what your top 3 are. Okay? Just look at your top 3. And then what are your top 3 business development goals for the year? When we talk about business development goals, just think about what are the things that you want to do to increase business next year, right? It helps if you know what happened last year so that you can identify what you want to increase and what you want to work on this year. There's a lot to go over here, guys, so I apologize. I'm going to keep you a little bit later today. All right. Your income goals. Overcome and limiting release about money. This is probably the number one thing that prevents people from doing what they need to do. Your beliefs about money influence your financial reality. Wealthy individuals cultivate a mindset of abundance and possibility. Right? Have you ever heard me talk about abundance and scarcity? You have to come from a place of abundance. Scarcity, you have to believe that there's enough to go around for everybody, and that there absolutely is. Scarcity mindset, often passed down through generations, leads to hoarding and fear of loss. Shifting to abundance mindset opens up opportunities, growth, and prosperity. How many people have read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? If you have not read that book, make that on your to-do list to do before the end of the year. It will have you thinking about money way different than you do right now. Money hoarded and saved and put back is a scarcity mindset. Money invested and used to create more money is a wealth mindset. Your money will work harder for you than you can ever work in your entire life. You just will. It's just the way it works. All right, so what were you taught about money? I want you to think about back in your life and think about where you grew up. What were you taught about money? I wasn't taught very much about money. I grew up in hardscrabble, Appalachian Mountain, Tennessee. We were so poor growing up, we had to steal the neighbor's trash so it looked like we had something to throw away. My parents truly came from a scarcity mindset, right? Because they held on to every single dime, they pinched every single penny, but they did it in the wrong way, right? They bought liabilities, they didn't buy assets. Okay, and it honestly doesn't take a lot of money to really start building assets. 2 or 3 houses in 2 or 3 years, will give you the money to buy 2 or 3 more houses, right? So you use one to build off the other. And how is this so? What are your biggest fears? Being broke, not being able to pay your rent, right? What are your biggest fears, right? You write those down. And then how has this shaped your attitudes and beliefs about wealth? We have to understand where we came from and how our mindset was before we can change it, right? But changing that mindset is probably the most important thing we can do. How to achieve financial peace of mind and financial freedom, Wake Up Money, and then the book, The Psychology of Money. Man, that's another great read. Psychology of Money is really going to help you understand why we look at money the way we do, and how we can change that and change our thought process to have money working for us. All right, here's your annual financial goals. Guys, before you do anything here, do not write down what you think you can do. Write down what you want. Okay? Write down what you want. Mine to keep. This is deposited in my Feel Good account. This is amount of money in the bank that would make me feel good if everything collapsed, right? How much money would be there for me if I need it? That's my feel good money. That's what allows me to sleep at night. It's what gets rid of commission breath. Anybody know what commission breath is, right? This account gets rid of commission breath, right? Because if the deal doesn't close, it's not a big deal because you have this account. So write down what that number is that makes you feel that way. Creature comforts, annual living expenses. What are your annual living expenses? Everybody should know what it takes to run your household. From the gas you have to spend to the entertainment you want to live, okay? That's in your creature comforts. Creature comforts, large purchases, right? Are you planning on getting a new car this year? Are you looking at putting in a pool at your house? What are these large purchases in your life? You're going to remodel a house, part of your home. What are you budgeting for your large purchase? What is it that you want to do next year that would fall into that? Recreation. What do you want to do in recreation? How much do you want to spend on that? We're talking about vacations, golf. Now I'm broke. Right? Personal growth. This is what are you going to spend on training and getting yourself in a better place and doing more training and understanding. Are you going to go to a Ninja installation? So that's going to cost you $1,000 just to apply for it. Then you got your hotel and your everything else. You're looking at probably a $2,500 expense to be out there for 4 days. Is that going to improve and help you in your life? Absolutely. So put that down there. If that's what you want to do. What?
It's free if we come see you, right?
It's free if you come see me, but listen, the magic happens in Fort Collins, Colorado. Larry Kendall, I spent 4 days with him one-on-one, so did Craig and So did both my Craigs, Craig 1 and Craig 2, thing 1 and thing 2. So it's just amazing to be out there, and the people that are out there, I could tell stories, but hearing the stories from them is even better because it's happened to them. So it's just an amazing place to be. Family growth. What are you trying to do with your family? Business growth. What do you want to see your business grow that year? Debt reduction. Do you have credit cards or do you want to pay off cards? What do you have in your debt column that you want to get rid of this year? Write that number down. Business cost. How much are you going to invest back into your business this year? And what are you going to invest that in? Put that number down. Retirement funds. What are you investing in your retirement? And retirement funds don't have to be an IRA or a Roth. They can be a house that is an IRA or a Roth. You didn't know that. We'll have Craig talk about that later. Craig actually owns a self-directed IRA that is a house. So let me tell you the benefit of doing that. When he sells that house, he'll pay no capital gains on it because it's a Roth IRA and there's no taxes on the profit of an IRA. Yeah, see, right? Then that'll get your attention. And then investments. What are you going to invest in? That could be houses also. All right. Then you're going to total that all up, and then you're going to multiply by about 0.25, right? And that's going to give you another number, and you put it there, right? And then you're going to add these two up, and that's how much money you're going to spend next year. And then, I love this one, then you're going to put right here how much money you want to receive next year, right? So, great number to have. And then your transaction goal is at least blank transaction. Now, that's going to be your receiving goal plus your average commission, right? And then that's going to give you the number of transactions that you want to do that year. So take some time. I'm not asking you to do it right now, but take some time and fill this out. This is a great annual finance. If we were going to be here for a 3 or 4 hour class, then we'd be 15 minutes, everybody be filling this out. But I don't think you guys have that kind of time today. All right. Income receiving goal. You have that from the previous page, your transaction goal. This is your goal contract, okay? So this is pretty simple. You're going to date it today, and you're going to say, by December 31st, 2025, I will have earned a minimum of blank. And then it's got a positive affirmation. I enjoy earning this amount of money as a result of giving the most effective service of which I am capable, rendering the fullest possible quantity and the best possible quality of service in the capacity of a real estate professional. This is irrevocable contract that I make with myself. You sign it, and then you have somebody like me witness it. And then I'm your accountability coach. I'm the one that's going to go, hey, can I see that goal contract we signed? How are you doing with that? Where are you at on that journey? Are you meeting the goals, your weekly goals, your monthly goals, your quarterly goals, your semi-annual goals, your annual goals? Are we on track? Are you doing the activities that you said you were going to do in order to get this done, in order to meet this money? Where are we at? What are we doing? How are we doing? Are we doing our Ninja 9? Are we doing those things, right? And you look back, and it's just an irrevocable contract that you can't get out of, right? So take some time, fill that out, come see me or Craig, and we'll be more than glad to be your witness on that contract, and we'll be more than glad to hold you accountable to that. When the Ninja system is basically made up of 9 things, 5 daily habits and 4 weekly habits. And the Ninja Planner, Craig, would you grab your Ninja Planner? The Ninja Planner that you can get for like $45 is probably one of the best tracking of that. And anybody that's in accountability coaching with me has a Ninja Planner, and they have to surrender that Ninja Planner to me at any time I ask for it, right? And that Ninja Planner.
This is the sample one, but it has all the stuff in it.
Yeah. So the Ninja Planner on a daily basis has all of this. This is your 9 Ninja habits. This is your 5 daily and your weekly and your task oriented for the day. And we sit down and we go, okay, looks like maybe 50% of the time you're doing X. So that's something we need to focus on. So it's a really good self-accountability thing too, because you can look back and go, well, if my business isn't where I want, it's probably because I'm not doing the activities that generate that type of business. So let's get double down and let's focus on those activities. All right, 2025 affirmations. This is probably the funnest exercise that I have seen done in a long time. And I want you guys, anybody here use AI or Chat GPT? I use it all the time. I love it. So what we did here is, affirmations and you guys have heard me talk about this 1,000 times, I've always thought affirmations were some hocus pocus bullshit. I just, I'm going to manifest what I want by saying it. I thought it was stupid. And then I realized, Larry Kindler, there's actually science to it, and the science goes into our non-conscious brain. It doesn't know what a lie is. It believes everything it hears, and it works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to accomplish the things that it believes that we want to accomplish. And that's why positive affirmations are so important, because when we get up every morning and we write these positive affirmations down, the non-conscious brain hears it, believes it, and then in the background works to accomplish it. We know the non-conscious mind processes about 400,000 pieces of information every second. Your conscious mind, what I'm using right now, only processes about 100,000 pieces of information every second, and in some cases like me, maybe only 50, right? But our conscious mind only works when we're awake. Our non-conscious mind works 24/7. And it's always trying to accomplish what it thinks it's supposed to be accomplishing. It thinks it's supposed to make us breathe and our bloods and our hormones and all of that. It also, anything that we've been talking about, anything that we've been doing, it's like Alexa. You're talking around that Alexa and then all of a sudden this stuff shows up on your feed and you didn't even know it was going to show up on your feed. Your non-conscious brain is the same way. It's your RAS, your reticular activation system, right? You buy a Jeep and all of a sudden you see a Jeep. Everywhere you look, there's a Jeep, there's a Jeep. It's because your non-conscious mind says, oh, he has a Jeep. He must be wanting to look at more Jeeps. Okay, here's more Jeeps. And it shows you all the Jeeps, right? So we don't realize that it happens, but it happens. And that's why affirmations are so important. But here's what's cool about this exercise. See, affirmations to be important have to be read in the present tense, right? And they have to be obtainable, achievable, all these other things, right? But if you were to take any of these prompts, right, or make up your own and say, I want to think like a wealthy person and adopt a mindset of abundance. Can you create affirmations that will help me focus on building my wealth as inspired by Rich Dad Poor Dad? Do me a favor, pull up ChatGPT. Copy that one sentence right there. Copy that one sentence right there. I'm going to show you how this works because this, to me, was absolutely amazing. Craig, you got ChatGPT on your phone?
I think I still do. That's what I was checking out.
Just type in ChatGPT, see if it comes up. Yep, right there. Click on the first one. Okay. Cut and paste that other information. Cut and paste this first sentence right here. From right there all the way down to right there. There. Cut that out or copy. Yep. Now put it right there. Now watch this. Hit enter. There's the affirmations for you right there. And they're written in the present tense. I am constantly expanding my financial education and understanding of money. Every decision I make brings me closer to financial freedom. I attract opportunities to build wealth and grow assets. I think like a rich person and make choices that increase my wealth. Those are your affirmations. Pick 2 or 3 every morning. Write it 25 times, right? And it starts to become what you're going to achieve in life and where you're going to be. So ChatGPT, I've fought it for a long time, but it really does do some really amazing things, right? So I've given you a whole list of prompts here, and you can make up your own, okay? Here's one for self-confidence, overcoming fear and anxiety, all right? So keep that in mind, all right? Go to the next page. All right, we talked about this. Money alone is not wealth, okay? Financial intelligence is wealth. Tells a story on here of a guy that was a janitor, made about $35,000 a year. No, he was a carpet installer. Made about $35,000 a year. Never made any more than about $35,000 a year. However, he went and saw Larry and bought his first investment property. And in the beginning, it was really difficult to even get the guy qualified to buy an investment property. But he did the work on it, kept the property, rented it out, had 2 or 3, and then started using the money from those to buy others, right? All while only making about $35,000 a year. Right now, today, his wake-up money, and this is money, positive cash flow on a monthly basis to him, whether he gets up or not, is $42,000 a month, okay? On a salary of $35,000 a year. See, income is not wealth. Financial intelligence is wealth. He was very smart about the money he had. It doesn't take a lot of money. You don't need to make a lot of money to have financial intelligence and build wealth, okay? But you have to have financial intelligence to avoid being broke. I know people that make $1 million a year and their ass is broke because they have no financial intelligence, right?
Bad with money when you're poor, you're going to be bad with money when you're rich.
That's a fact. That is a fact. So, assets, put money in your pockets, and liability, take money out of your pockets, right? Don't be fooled by what an asset and a liability is. Any purchase you go to make, you need to be figuring out, is this an asset or is this a liability? Okay? So rich people acquire assets, poor people acquire liabilities they think are assets. And when I say rich and poor, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about rich and poor in intelligence and financial intelligence, okay? Good debt and bad debt. Good debt finances assets and someone else makes the payment. What does that sound like? Rental property, right? Bad debt finances liabilities and you make the payment. So by that definition, your house that you currently live in is a liability, right? Gulf Well. And look, some people think, oh, I'm buying bigger and bigger assets. So they sell their house and they buy a bigger house. No, they just traded a larger liability for a larger asset that's really not an asset. It's a liability, right? So they think they're, oh, look, I own this house. No, you don't. Bank owns that house, right? Anyways, and you're making the payments on it, so it's still more liability. Your income producing net worth is more important than your income. Your money at work is more valuable than you at work because it works 24/7. It works whether you get up every day or not. So that's key. And then your net worth. What you own, do anybody know how to figure out their net worth? It's real simple. Make a block. What you own, what you owe. House, car, checking, investments, that's what you own. And then what you owe on those. And the difference between the two is your net worth, negative or positive. Okay? Negative or positive. Okay, this is your net worth goal sheet. And this is something you're going to do on your own, but I'm going to explain it to you real quick. The first one is your net worth today. Right? Figure out what your net worth is today. And then the second one is, what do you want your net worth to be? Right? So look at all of your, what do you want your savings? What do you want your automobiles? What do you want your retirement plan, your insurance, if you have it on a cash basis? Home value versus your home loan, right? So up here, your home value might be $500,000, and that might be $500,000. Down here, $600,000, zero, right? So try to really look at that because this is going to show you, again, you can't get anywhere without a map. And if you want your net worth to be higher, then we got to know what your net worth is and where you want it to be, right? This is going to be one, once you get that done, that needs to be printed out and hung up in your bathroom and your mirror so that you see it and review it every day. Keeps you motivated to really work towards that because how great would it be for your net worth to be down here in the millions, right? That's what we want, right? Wake up money, all right. So here's how we get there. Wealth creation model. Let's talk about this real quick. That's a really confusing whole bunch of shit, is what that is. But let me break it down. Gross income is a purple line. That's how much money you make every year, right? Your living expenses, see how that flat is a flat line, right? Why is living expenses a flat line? Because what happens is that in growth, your gross income goes up, right? So as our gross income goes up, we tend to increase our living expenses to match that, right? And that's not what we should do. Our living expenses should stay relatively flat or maybe increase a little bit. If you're a salaried person, every time you get a raise, you take half of the raise and you add it and you increase your living expenses. Then the other half, you invest, okay? But that's not what we do. We get a raise, and what do we do with that raise? We increase our living expenses. So this number stays constant, and then we have a problem. So we have, in between our living expenses and our gross income, there's two things that we have to pay attention to, right? And the first one is taxes, because then that takes our gross income down to our net income. And if we can control our salary, as we make more money, we have discretionary investment money. That's where you use that money to start buying houses or to start buying stocks or bonds or whatever it is you're going to invest in. Because that blue area right there is what's going to make you a millionaire. And if you can understand that, right? Warren Buffett lives in the same house that he lived in when he first bought it. It's a little brick ranch, right? Because Warren Buffett, as his wealth increased, his living expenses did not. Still living that same life. Now, everybody's like, oh, but I want to live this, I want the big cars and the big, okay, fine, right? But proportionately to what you're making, right? We overextend ourselves in America, and we spend more than we make. And if we can reverse that and start making more than we're spending, and keep that baseline there, then we have this area of money that we can do. Let me tell you what this takes to do that. Anybody know what it takes to do this creation model? Anybody know what that takes? Discipline. Discipline. Because it's really easy to go out and buy all the stuff you want now, but I would give you this advice. Before you go and make a big purchase, ask yourself one question. Anybody know what the question is you should ask yourself? That's a great one. What'd you say, Sydney? That's another great question, but I ask myself this question. Do I want this now or everything later? Do I want this now or everything later? And for me, I want everything later, because as I get older, I don't want to work anymore. I want to be able to go out and golf every day and enjoy my life, right? All right, 3 wealth creation system. Commission, put yourself on salary, right? We can talk about that, and I'll do a class on this, but here's what we don't do. When we are making, if we know how much it takes to run our household, right, then that's how much we should pay ourselves every month, and not a penny more. The rest of the money goes where? Stays in the business account to grow the business or use for investments or take advantage of opportunities. But that's not what we do. We take our entire commission check and we put it in our checking account, and then we just spend it or we do whatever, right? But what we should be doing is have a business account, personal account. All the money goes into the business account. Once a month, we know exactly how much it takes to run our household. We write a check for that. The rest stays there. It's not your money. It's your investment money. It's your nest egg. It's the things that's going to help you build wealth and that financial intelligence. So what is real wealth? The highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, I can do what I want today, right? We're not going to get there overnight, but we're going to get there. And then a really good book to read, The Psychology of Money, will help you understand what enough is enough, right? Because if we keep moving the goalpost, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a billionaire, I want to be a trillionaire, right? Then we kind of miss out on really what it is life's really all about, right? Because you're focused on the wrong things. So you really figure out what it is in your life of where you want to be and what you want to be. Stop moving that goalpost, get that goalpost, and then celebrate that. All right, build my plan. Database, central nervous system of your plan, okay? And, I'm going to go through this fairly quickly, but I want you to drop down here where it says, take the average sales price, your average sales price, times 0.005, and that's the value per household. That is what every single entry into your database is worth on an annual basis, okay? That's what it's worth, because it's a big, long calculated formula that has gone out, but it really is. Then you're going to divide your gross commission income goal by the value per household, and that's going to let you know the size of the database you need to reach your goal. So, yes?
If you go on that website,
yep,
it has a cool spreadsheet. You just plug it in.
It absolutely does. What's really interesting is that when we talk about, and look, it's very interesting. We say, okay, everybody in your database is worth $2,000 a year. So obviously, if I have 100 people in my database, I should be making $200,000 a year. How many people have 100 people in your database? How many people are making $200,000 a year? I'm going to. That's where I'm going. How many people are making $200,000 a year? If the answer is I'm not making $200,000 a year, then you don't have 100 quality people in your database that you know, that you're intimate with, that you have conversations with, that you can pick the phone up and you know who they are, you know who their kids are, you have forward conversations with. Those are the people, when we talk about just getting a list of a bunch of names is not a database, right? That's a start, and you certainly can build from that, but you've got to develop those deeper relationships with each one. And if you do, that's what they're worth, and that is absolutely what you'll be making. Now, Fort Collins, Colorado, the group, Larry Kendall's company out there, they have 200 real estate agents. And they are the most dominant real estate company in the area. You don't even see a RE/MAX sign. You don't see national brand signs out there because there's only 250,000 people in that town. And his agents average 40 transactions each every year. They're so good at what they do, it costs, if you want to work there, you will pay him, whether you sell a house or not, $2,500 a month to be at his company. Now, I see my eyebrows go up because that's crazy, right? But it's a testament to this system because they live, eat, and breathe this. And they've got Larry Kendall right there teaching them every step of the way. But they are, per agent, the highest producing company in the U.S. per agent. 200 agents, all averaging 40 deals each. There's no other company I can think of even come close to that. Yeah, I only got 250,000 people in the area. It's crazy. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. All right, so the goal on your database. Now, this is, you've got to figure out, and I'll go over this again real quick. You've got to figure out what every person in your database is worth, and then you take your GCI goal, right? However much, remember from we did back over, we know how much money we want to make that year, right? So let's say we want to make $200,000. We're going to take that $200,000 goal, and we're going to divide the GCI by the per household amount. So divide that up, and then that's going to give you the size of the database to reach your goal. In other words, let's say my database is 0, and I want to make $100,000 a year, and my average gross commission income is $5,000. I'm going to divide that GCI by the value per household. So that divided by the 2,000 or the 5,000 gives me a number, and that's the size of a qualified database that I need to have in order to reach those goals. Okay? So now we have something very, very tangible, right, that we need to work on. We have a size of our database needs to be, and when I say these are people that you're doing real estate reviews with, that you're talking to all the time, there's a lot of work there, but it works out. All right, so your database goal, on a scale of 1 to 10, my database is a, right? What's the strength of your database, right? If you have 100 people in your database and you only know 20 of them, I'd say your database is probably a 3, okay? So really look at who's in your database. Is a blank number of closed sales from people that know me and my clients. This goes back to your DNA that we talked about earlier, right? How many of those came from people you actually know, people that you have a relationship from? It's a central nervous system. Okay, it says on average, each household in my database is worth $2,000 a year in gross commission. When I'm working the Ninja system, nope, this is based on an average sales price of $400,000, 2.75 commission. Adjust the number up or down. Now, Larry Kendall said in this thing yesterday that they're looking at about 2,000-ish nationwide, but probably should back that down to about 1,500, right, to account for the lower number of houses being sold. Based on my financial goals, so it's a really good worksheet to really kind of get this done. Let's go to the next one. Ooh. We're almost through it, guys, because there's a lot of stuff I'm not going to make you guys sit through. All right. Check 1, my database is too small to achieve my goals. I need to increase my database by number of households this year. My plan to add blank number of households per week until my database is the right size or it's the right size. So this is a worksheet just to answer your questions, okay, that we did in the previous one. So you're going to figure out how many people you need in your database, and then you're going to make some commitments to getting there, okay? And all the classes that we teach throughout the year are going to help you reach all of these things because we teach the activities that you need to do everything that is in here, and they're all right there. There's 7 of them. All right. Step 3, plan your activities and your schedule. Guys, this is where it gets into the Ninja 9, right? So I'm going to kind of talk about all of this really quickly without going through this. If you want to be successful in real estate, you need to do 9 things, right? You need to have your 5 daily habits. Every morning when you get up, your gratitude and your affirmations. You follow that by making sure that your agenda is set out for the day in time block, and you stay on that agenda and you get it done. Number 3, you write 2 personal notes to somebody that has done something or means something in your life to you. Number 4, focus on your hot list. That's people that are currently looking to buy or sell a house, right? Focus on that list. You focus on that list all day long. Number 5, focus on your warm list. Your warm list is generally about 20% of your database, and those are people that will be buying a house in the next 12 months. I'll do a whole class on how to identify who those people are, and you can actually identify who's going to be moving in the next 12 months before they can. All right, and it's a really simple thing to do, and it really builds a deep relationship when you do it. Focus on your customer service calls. These are people that you're currently working with. These are currently, especially your listings, make sure they know you're going to be calling them once a week. You're going to have an afford conversation with them, and you're going to be talking to them. Schedule 2 real estate reviews every week. Real estate reviews are probably the #1 way to get a referral, and that's when you go and you sit down and you talk with somebody about the most important investment they've ever had in their life. You're talking about what's happening on state level, national level, state level, local level, neighborhood, and their house, and what's going on with that. And while you're there at the house, you're having a forward conversation. You're listening for pain and pleasure points. You're identifying things in their life or problems in their life that you might be able to solve. It's real simple. If I'm talking to Craig, I'm like, hey, hey, Craig, I'm managing doing real estate. Hey, man, how's the family?
Good.
Good, man. What's going on with the family?
Not much. Catherine's working. Susan's enjoying retirement. And Nicholas is out there in Colorado studying.
Oh, my goodness. He's in college out there, right?
Yeah.
When's he graduate?
He's working on his PhD, so he's graduating out of 2 years.
Oh, my goodness. So where's he going to be going in 2 years, you think?
NASA.
Oh, so he's coming back home.
Maybe.
If he works at NASA, where do you think he'll be living up Newport News, maybe? Up that area?
If he works at that NASA, yeah.
Gotcha. So there's a possibility that he would go on a warm list. Anybody know why? It's a real estate need, right? And I just did it by asking questions and understanding what's going on with his life, right? So by doing that, we identify. Now, Craig's not even thinking that he needs to be worried about a place for his son to live in 2 years, but I am, right? So that's going in my database, that's going in my notes, and I'm going to increase my flow with Craig. Flow is my frequency of interaction, right? So my frequency of interaction with Craig needs to be a little bit higher because he's in that 20% of people that may have a real estate need in the next 12 months. Simple, right? But we got to have these conversations. That was our customer service calls, real estate reviews, and then, 50 live interviews a week. How many people go, holy shit, that's way too many? That's insane, right? That conversation I just had with him is a live interview, right? Everybody I talk to, if I'm asking them forward questions, I'm asking about their family, occupation, their recreations, their dreams, right? You don't go, hey, what are your dreams? Talk to me. No, that's not how you do that, right? But, hey, what do you guys got planned? What are some of your big plans for next year? What a great question. This time of year is a great question. Your past question, how was Thanksgiving? How's the family? Your future question, you got plans for Christmas or New Year's? What do you got big on the horizon coming up this year? What are you going to do for fun this year? Recreation, right? So I can find out all of these things and have these deep conversations and listen. And there's a whole class on this. We'll keep going. And then review your database weekly. If you do those 9 things, right? And look, that sounds easy. There's a lot to that. There's a lot to that. Your business will go through the roof. People will refer you left and right because they know you care. They know you don't have commission breath, right? That you're truly there to help them solve a problem if they have one, that you care about their interest. Those 9 things. That's really what every agent in Colorado does out in Fort Collins, and they're killing it. But they are dedicated to this stuff. Super important. All right. Hold on. Real estate reviews. I want to bring this up real quick. These are his numbers from Fort Collins, Colorado. Face-to-face or virtual via Zoom, if you're doing a real estate review with one of your clients, it's 33% of the time works out into some type of real estate transaction, usually a referral, right? Because you've got them thinking about it. They're impressed with what you're doing because you showed up with art, science, you asked questions, and you got them thinking about it, and all of a sudden they know somebody that's going to move. 33% of the time. So let's think about that. Why wouldn't I try to schedule 100 of them a week, right? Because that would be 33 deals, 33 referrals, right? So that is a high percentage of where you can get business. And it doesn't have to be somebody you sold a house to. It can be anybody that owns real estate, right? I've done a real estate review for people I met in the grocery store, right? They're like at first going, what is this weirdo coming to my house for? But when you start talking to them about, hey, look, has your agent ever sat down and talked to you about your investment? My investment? Yeah, your house. It's the largest investment you'll ever have. You talk to your financial advisor about your investments. This is an investment. Look, man, I do this for all of my clients. I do a review of your investment for you, just kind of let you know what that portfolio looks like. Be glad to do that for you too. Is that something you'd be interested in? And they go, hell yeah. and you do it for them, and it's great. Phone call or mail, about 15% of the time, right? Depending on how well you know them. Yeah, phone call and mail. If you just mail only, about 2% of the time, and you email it to them, big goose egg, right? Big goose egg. Email is junk. Best real estate review season, November, December, and January. So if you don't have a real estate review package and don't know how to do one, you need to get on the ball ASAP and get it going, because these are your best months coming up right now. All right, there's about the real estate review template, success habit number 8. We just talked about all of this. All right, real quick, 8 and 8, right? So now you have this goal, because we know, if you guys haven't realized this yet, right? The key to reaching all of your goals is having the appropriate number of people in your database that will help you reach that financial goal. That's it. I probably could have done this whole hour. Hey, you need to have certain people in your database, right? Right, but we need to know what those goals are, so you need to know how many. So we have to do all of that work to get where we're at, to know how many people we need. So how do we add people to our database? This right here, 8 and 8, is probably the best way to build a new relationship. When I meet someone, right, just met with Matt, right? So Matt doesn't know it, but I'm going to use an example. Matt's in my 8 and 8 program right now, okay? So did you get a card from me? It's in the mail, guarantee it. You're going to get a card from me. Matt wrote me a card, by the way. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. It meant a lot. But every week, I'll do something different. For 8 weeks, I'm going to touch base with him for the next 8 weeks. I'm not going to now, because kind of ruined it. Right? But
I know what you're doing.
But next week he would have gotten a call, and the week after that I might have sent him something about our company. I mean, hey, did you check out this about the website, or this about the Ninja? And then the following week I'm like, hey, Matt, you want to go to lunch? Love to get breakfast with you, coffee or something like that. So for 8 weeks, I would be working on trying to build a relationship with Matt. Now, I told you guys, who are my clients? Agents, right? So why am I trying to do this with Matt? Because I want Matt to come and work with us here at Away Real Estate. I've already been talking to his wife, and I think that your mindset is very much fits in with what we do here. So that's how I try to build a relationship with someone, and that's how you should be trying to build a relationship with every person that you meet. They go in your database, they immediately go in at 8 by 8, so that you use your CRM to set something and go, okay, week 1 I'm going to do this, week 2 I'm going to do this, week 3 I'm going to do this, week 4 I'm going to do this, week 5, 7, and 8, and by the time you're 2 months into it, if you've done it right, you got a good friend, you got a new best friend. Right? Best way to go about it. And you might find out by week 3, Kenny's an asshole. I don't want nothing to do with him, right? You cut that program off and move on down the road. All right. Plan your activities, 8 and 8, so a tracking form on there that will help you with that. We'll send all of these links out. 4 buckets. All right, so this is a very interesting spreadsheet, because this spreadsheet is broken into warm list, hot list, under contract, closed, right? Think about that. We're just going to move people from bucket to bucket, right? If you got somebody on your warm list, 6 to 12 months. Hot list, 90 days. Under contract, 30 days. Closed, getting paid, right? So the more people we have, and the more people we get
Lightning. Big one, just hit.
the more people that we can get into our warm list, the more business and more things we're going to close over the next year. See, the warm list is going to tell us how much business we're going to have next year, right? Because they're 6 to 12 months out. All right, so what fills the buckets? Change, referrals, right? We're asking our forward questions. We're listening for pain and pleasure points. And we're not only listening for those, but we're listening for problems that we can solve. Go ahead. All right. I am going to stop here, okay? You guys have got a lot to kind of go through, and you've got a guide. And I'm available to any of you to sit down with you one-on-one. I'll be glad to do that. Please just get on my calendar. I've got Calendly. I never said.
I can't say it either. I can't say it either.
Yeah. I got this calendar program that works real good. Jump on that, right? It's in Telegram, or I can send it out to you. Jump on that. Get on my calendar for a 30 or 45-minute appointment. We'll sit down, and I will go over this with you. There is a prerequisite to doing that with me, though, okay? You have to have filled out this, okay? You have to really put some time. This is your genealogy of your business. This is your pre-flight checklist. This is going to really help us really get down and focus on this. I have not, in the 20 years I have been in real estate, I have not seen a better business planning for a real estate agent than this. When you put the two together, when you sit down and you identify everything that you want to do with this pre-planning list, and then you actually put that into action. So that's available for that. Any questions from anybody? I kept you all way too late. I'm so sorry. Try to keep this to an hour. It just never works. Any questions? Anybody want to get on my calendar, please talk to Robin. She'll send you the link and you can just schedule it on your own. Guys, thank you for being here online, staying with us a little bit late. I really do appreciate it. I know y'all have busy lives and out getting out going. And don't forget, Christmas party tomorrow night. It's going to be a great time. As always, let's get out there and sell a house.